What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Miss Teen Crypto Show. I am your host, Randi Hipper, back at it today. I'm so happy to be here. I'm feeling really good vibes. Thank you to everyone in the chat. If you're just hanging out here, if you're new to the channel especially, hi, nice to see you. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the stream out with friends so more people could jump in, feel the zesty vibes, and have a happy Friday. And I said yes, Friday, because we're celebrating the end of the week. We worked hard to get to this point where we could sit back, relax, and listen to the alpha that's going to be dropped by today's special guest, Sam Price, aka Crypto Lifer. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for letting me hang out in your space and come to your channel every couple times a month or whatever I do. I appreciate it. It's awesome. You have everyone here, so I feel like I'm part of the group, part of the cool kids. You got all the cool people in crypto all the time,
You're the best, Sam. Really, I love the Lifer fam, and I love your vibe. I always pop in your TA streams, and you're just always at it. In the morning, I go on YouTube, you're there. Sometimes you do extra live streams. You're always there, and you're always dropping alpha, which I appreciate. And you've been working so hard throughout this bear market. How has it been for you to deal with a lot of the news, I guess, going on and watching the charts as it's all going down?
It's been really tough. Like, I was thinking even I might share a personal story that happened to me even just a few days ago.
Yeah.
But I've always been about my my P's and Q's or whatever. I always had my things put together, always had my ducks in a row, so to speak. Like, when it comes to crypto, I know your email, could be, compromised. So I put like a FIDO key on my email. I try to take like every step I can. But even recently, I was using API keys. And APIs are just when you basically trade from I use like a nice interface to trade, because I have like 5 or 6 different exchanges that I'm interacting with at any given moment.
Yeah.
Because that's also good security, right? If you had 100 grand, if you had 10 grand, whatever you had, I don't care. It's not really important, but it's important what it is to you, right?
Exactly.
And I suggest, even if it's the same coin, like say you had 10,000 Matic, you could keep 5,000 on Binance US, 5,000 on KuCoin, That way, if something ever happened, you wouldn't lose all your Matic. You would only lose half, So I try to differ. If I keep things on hardware wallets, but if I am going to keep things on exchanges, and what I even learned is sometimes you can make a trade. Say you want to put 10,000 in a trade. It's okay. You could put 5,000 in one exchange and then open up the trade in another exchange. And with this database, this interface that I used, it was great because I could open up a trade on Coinbase, Binance US, KuCoin, Kraken, you name it. Yeah, and I could watch them all at the same time. And the API, something happened with the API, and someone was able to basically go into my account, sell every coin I had, and then buy a bunch of coin on the other end. Now, they never got into my account. See, they never hit the withdrawal button. They were never able to take, but they were using my account.
But they were messing with your trades.
Well, they would use my account as exit liquidity. What they did is they were already in the regular. This is what they did. Listen to the scheme they did, because I want people to understand this, because I didn't even think it was possible. So they got into my account and a bunch of other people's, right, through API. So they couldn't take anything from your account, but they could trade in it. So they would start doing your trades and get you into a USD position, a US Tether position. So they'd get you all into Tether as much as they could get you in. They'd buy a crap coin, which they did was YFDAI. So they'd buy a coin that was like $80, right? And at one point it was like 10,000. So they could see a big spread on it. And then what they do is they set a buy order for 3,700, but the coin's at $100, right?
Yeah.
But then they go to your account and they sell a sell order for 3,700 and it matches their buy order. And boom, you end up selling then they get you to buy the coin up. So you start buying the coin up and the price goes up. And then what they do is they sell the coin that they already have when the price goes up.
Wow. So they're pumping and dumping.
But they do it with your account and they use your liquidity. And then you're left with the coin at the end that went to zero. And they're on the other end with the Tether. But they never went into your account. This is the crazy thing. They did it through the exchange.
Wow.
Because I never thought I'm the lifer.
Yeah.
I don't even like admitting that I'm vulnerable. Because I'm everyone looks to me for the answers,
Exactly.
And so when I admit that I made a mistake, it feels really strange for me personally. But I feel like it also makes me vulnerable. And I swear that's kind of how I grew my channel and my trading group was just being me and saying whatever I felt. Today I feel like saying that, so I'm saying it. I don't know if it's the best thing to do, but I just want to tell everyone, be careful out there. So I lost $11,000. It sucks. I'm kind of over it. It's been 5 days or 4 days. It is what it is, And the sad thing is, it's not like my exchange got hacked. So you could contact the exchange. It's kind of like API keys. And 3 days prior, I was told that the API keys could have been corrupted and to get rid of them, but I thought I was invincible. I will be honest.
No, so you had the warning.
Yeah, 3 days in a row. And then even a mentor of mine who I study with and stay with put out a warning to his group and was like, listen, everyone, like, I'm here, but this is my issue. Everyone goes, I got hacked. And then you find out the guy just like, he sent his stuff in an email, right? And like a lot of people don't want to admit how foolish they were. So they claim that they got hacked, right? And I've seen this like 5 or 10 times where like I eventually get to the bottom of it and I ask the person 100 questions and they can never answer like a serious, at one point I'm like, all right, man, like you hacked yourself. Like, yeah. So I was ignorant to that fact. I thought I was untouchable because I did everything right. And I was humbled yet again by this game. This game will humble you, like straight up. So when you said like, oh man, this bear market, I was like, man, I have a story to tell you. Like even I got hit. And honestly, I don't even care about me getting hit because I make good commissions on exchanges. I have a good life. I have a platform. Like I can make 11,000 back pretty fast. Like thank the Lord. But like, and even then, even if I can't, like it sucks. You know what I mean? But other people got hit for more, and it's just like, man, that's what really gets my heart, man, is people that can't, like that's all their savings or all they have. And you think about this grimy person on the other end, just delete, going through someone's account makes you pretty angry, pretty sad.
That is sad. Someone really took all the time to go into your trades and then make you accumulate some coin so that they could dump it on you. And that's just vile. People are vile. And it's like, it's almost like, the people that are impostering us on social media that are actively DMing our community. Because I know there's like a ton of mine, and then there's some of yours as well, roaming the internet, whether that's Twitter or Instagram, DMing our community and trying to scam them as well. There's scammers everywhere, and it's absolutely horrible. So I'm sorry that you lost that and that happened to you. So wow, I'm sorry, Lifer.
We're streaming on Twitter right now. It looks great.
Yeah, we are streaming on Twitter right now.
The Twitter blue matches the blue, and it looks great. We look great on Twitter right now.
Yay. Hi, Twitter friends. Nice to see you.
What up, Twitter? Bots.
Yeah.
Hope you're not. No bots. No more bots. But no, it's nice to see the blue check next to your name. It's nice to see the blue check. That's huge, man. Shout out to Elon, man. You couldn't get your blue check that easily before.
No.
Right? And so you would have been in the abyss with 100 missed cryptos. Like we'll get to Instagram, but at least we can officially know who is who on Twitter, which I think is great.
I agree. Thank God for the blue check mark. It does help a lot because now that's what people look for on Twitter. But Instagram, if you even look up Miss Teen Crypto, some imposters come up before me. And that's crazy. It's like they're rigging this game, and then you can't even report them because then they like somehow come back with the same username. It's absolutely insane. So watch out for the fake accounts, everyone. There's fake lifers everywhere. Before we actually went live, I had to ask Lifer what his Instagram handle was because I was looking to tag him on Instagram stories, and there were like 20 lifers. So definitely pay attention. And your new Instagram is at Real Crypto Lifer, right?
The Real Crypto Lifer. Yeah.
The Real Crypto Lifer. It says it right in the name, friends. So watch out for the spelling too.
Hey, let's go that far, Oh, there's the story. I see it now. Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you. I always like to post on Instagram stories before we go live, just so like more people could jump in and like know what's going on. Speaking of what's going on, I don't think I spoke to you since pre-FTX collapse, right? So what do you feel about this entire thing and where we're at now with it?
I mean, we don't know how many more companies are involved, right? I don't think it's over yet. I really don't think it's over yet. That Gemini, right? And the whole debacle with was it like DGB or there's a
Digital Currency Group.
Yeah. And so we're like, what's, how much do they have? How much is invested? Who's insolvent? Where is it going? Gemini's been a little weird recently, right? They've been like a little more transparent than we want them to be. What I don't like recently is, and I don't want to get too deep, right? Because it's like, there seems to be a lot of dogs involved in this whole scheme. What I mean by that is like, once I start calling them out, right? It's like they focus on you, but like,
yeah.
Kevin O'Leary's cool. He had his own, like, you could, whatever you want to say, you can go into the past and you can find out what you want. I did it years ago, right? And then and I'm not going to say any more than that. You do your own due diligence, right? But you can find out what you want about Kevin O'Leary from the past, and you can make your own assumptions as to what happened there. Secondly, he comes out today, and of course, he looks horrible. Let's be honest. He's supposed to have a great name. No, look, I'm the crypto lifer.
Yeah.
I walk around. I tell everyone I'm the man. I know crypto. I go over it every day. You should watch. You should watch the TA. Blah blah blah. And then, I just like, what if I just told you Bitcoin was going up and then it goes down? It's going up, it goes down, and I just for a year straight I look like a complete fool. This guy's supposed to be this is what he does for a living, right? He's supposed to be able to know to come into a company. Hey, can I see your books? Like. You think he does due diligence.
Exactly.
And the thing is, a lot of these people, they get a name, they make a few good investments, they get a name, and then someone says, hey, we'll slap your name on this. And they're like, yeah. And they do a little due diligence the first year, but 10, 20 years out, they're getting paid so much left and right, and they stop doing due diligence, right? Yeah, slap my name on that. That's good enough. It's like, or they have a team that's getting paid so well, they stop doing due diligence, and you don't check on them, right? Your accountant, your financial guy doesn't really go through it. He wants that. Maybe he really wants that deal to go through. He's making good enough commissions with you. You're paying him as much as so he wants that deal to go through. Whatever happened, whatever his excuse is, he didn't see what the heck was going on at all. Apparently, our government didn't see what was going on. All they were meeting with the guy, especially behind closed doors. The whole thing is insane.
It's a little sketchy.
It's so sketchy. Even if you don't want to be the quote unquote conspiracy theorist, which I don't like using that word, but if you don't want to be the guy who wants to go truth seeking.
Yeah, with the tinfoil hat, whatever.
Yeah. Like it's right there in front of you. It's like the menu at the restaurant. Like it's
no, 100%. And Kevin O'Leary keeps saying, even on CNBC this morning, that he was in communications with Sam until the very end, right before he went to jail. So, did he do his due diligence? Did he really know what was going on? He got paid $15 million to be a spokesperson. That we know. And, he was saying he lost money, but then they were pressing him, and maybe he didn't. He was paid. He was not necessarily an investor.
And then, so I feel like I have a moral compass. Like I close my eyes right now because I'm trying to just see the thing in my head as clear as possible. And yes, I don't know CZ 100%, right? Mm-hmm. I can't look into his bank account. I can't see everything he's done. But, he worked at McDonald's. I think me and you even discussed this before.
Yeah.
And I think one of our first episodes, I think we talked about this on the first episode, we may have been on ATV, but he worked at McDonald's. I can look at his track record. You know what I mean? He didn't maybe kill two people and then we don't know what happened. Like
exactly.
We don't he seems to have a pretty clean slate, and he's worked really hard. I don't see any employees that say that he treats them like garbage. There's no story that he comes into work and slams on the desk. The other day, his tweet was, he looks like the innocent little nerdy kid in school that actually happened to win. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He even says it in his tweet. Like the other day, he was like, I may not be good looking. Like, I don't take pictures well. Like, he's like, I don't even have good teeth. I don't, he just said all the things that people want when they're trying to become a social media mogul and take over the world, right? He's like, I don't have any of those things. He's like, but I brought billions of people together. Like, I changed. He's like, he did change the world, man, with his vision and his work ethic, right? And when you're the top dog, the whole world wants to take you down.
Absolutely.
Even if you did it the cleanest way in the world, man, there's always someone trying to take you down, trying to say something about you. I'm the nicest guy in the world. And to this day, I have someone today who wrote an email saying we just think that, you could get whatever. Just people are going to assume things about you. If they pick an angle to look at you that way, they're going to look at you that angle, no matter whatever you try to do to get them to not think that way. So they're trying to label CZ. They're trying to label Binance because, of course, the Democrats, they don't want to. No one wants to take the heat for this. Like, no one wants. You got all this money. You met with the guy hundreds of times. So now you want to find another scapegoat, right? So you can just, boop. And to me, it's unfair. It really is. And I have people that don't know it. Meet Kevin. He's a big YouTuber. Today, he's like, trouble for Binance. Because people that aren't like you and me, they don't know the in and outs of crypto. They see this from the outside and they don't really know, right?
Exactly.
I think it's unfair to crypto and to Binance, but I think in the end they're going to win. I think everyone's going to see who has the best moral compass, and I believe CZ will come out on top when all this is said and done.
I'm with you. And you know what? Poor CZ, because of course when you do things the right way, they're going to come for you. And even Kevin O'Leary, during the Senate hearings, they were asking him what he thought about the future of crypto. And then all of a sudden he brings up Binance and he's like, Binance put FTX out of business. And Overcome, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. And speaking of overcoming, CZ has to overcome all this FUD that they're spreading about him in court hearings where he's nowhere near involved. And then this morning, yesterday morning he was on CNBC, and he had to answer all these questions that they were just kind of trying to throw at him. He was answering them beautifully. He was like, we're financially stable. We're trying to we're matching everyone 1-to-1. And then he was like, Kevin O'Leary was straight up lying about us.
She's like, so you have $2 billion. You have $2 billion.
I was so confused by that question. What do you mean?
He's like, I'm gonna just throw my balance sheet in your face right now. He's like, look, I have the lawyers and the accountants that can go over that if the time's needed. He's like, we can. And they have $1 billion emergency fund. No other exchange has that. He came out and said, in case anything ever happened to us, in case anything happened to his customers, he has $1 billion in waiting, just in waiting that he uses in case you would ever have to, if anything ever happened. Now, how do you feel being younger, watching your generation? How do you feel about, how your rights are being taken seriously? How do you feel about Twitter? What is the buzz in the younger generation with Twitter? It's like, what's the talk? Is it free speech? Is it Elon's taking over because he's a billionaire? Because you got people on both sides of the story, right? Elon's helping, he was a Democrat voter for years. Now he's just switching to see the truth. And that's how I look at it. But everyone else is like, oh, a billionaire, of course, buys speech and now wants to control freedom of speech again. And I'm like, it's just funny how I see two different aspects. I don't know. I'm just wondering what your take on that was,
because I find it ironic because Jeff Bezos, he owns Amazon, which is pretty much almost a monopoly at this point, and he's got the Washington Post. So how come he's allowed to have a narrative and have his own news outlet, but Elon can't promote free speech on Twitter? And a lot of, kids, especially my age, we want to be able to say what we want to say, because if you look at TikTok, especially Facebook a few years ago, if you mentioned Bitcoin, you got taken down. But especially on TikTok, if you post anything that's remotely, political or something that's, a little out there, then it gets taken down almost immediately. So the censorship on other platforms is insane. And YouTube, I'm still having a little bit of problems with, and I don't even say anything that's bad. All I try to do is educate people. I never get dicey. I don't like to get political, and yet I still get censored. So the fact that, Twitter's pushing for this is something that I respect. So I don't really care about politics. I know Elon was a Democratic voter, now he's looking Republican, but I think he's just trying to look for people that represent free speech and what we're trying to do. And even going back to CZ Binance, if you look at what CZ Binance did, he invested $500 million in Twitter, which Elon Musk also denied FTX's potential investment. So he took CZ's money, and CZ even said on CNBC he wanted to do that. So crypto had a seat at the table when it comes to Twitter. And I think Elon is pro-crypto as well. He was even on Twitter Spaces saying that, hey, we need to stop the money system from being corrupt, and that's what Bitcoin and crypto does. So I'm very bullish on the free speech. I think that's what Gen Z is focused on, because we want to be able to put out content that we should be able to put out content about without being held back, or, our channels being demonetized or being straight up taken down or suspended, or we just can't post. And it's weird. So I'm happy to see this initiative being pushed overall. And I noticed the way people are talking is a lot different now, but more free. People are okay with both sides being able to say what they want. And I think that's important.
No, when it started, right, I was watching JP Spears, the comedian, right? And he was getting real close to the line. And I was like, when are they going to take his channel down?
Yeah.
He was like, but I was like, maybe they can let comedians go because it's like, it's a joke, right?
It's supposed to be messed up.
He was making saturations of the guy dressed in the suit. And he's like, you've been posting a little funny recently, And I was like, oh
yeah.
My God. I was like, wow. I was watching and waiting. Like you said, I couldn't go anywhere near the line. I was like, I had a job to do, and my job was, when this all started and people started losing their jobs, I started tutoring people. And one night I tutored a woman, and she's like, you've helped me so much, and I really appreciate the time that you spend with me. And she's like, can I just tell you where I was at? And people would, at the beginning when they meet me, they would tell me kind of what got them into crypto. And a lot of people got into crypto almost not because they wanted to, because they almost had no choice, And this woman, she started a hearing aid, business, and she had to take a loan out for it. She studied how to do it. It's actually a pretty good business to jump into if you're motivated, because anyone can figure out how to use the machines and figure out what someone needs. And if you're good at servicing people and you like people and you can help people, every day there's someone losing their hearing, right? Everyone's getting older. So, it's actually a pretty honorable, great business. And she put a lot of money into it. She was ready to go, and they shut her down. She couldn't have people in her office, right, because of COVID. So she eventually had to turn to eventually she found Matic at like 50-30 cents, and she rode up to like 230. Like, and she to this day was like, Matic changed my life. She found Phantom, some other things. And but people got into crypto because the banks weren't offering any. There was no way you couldn't save your money and get an APY, right? There was nothing you could get out of the banking system, so that wasn't happening. You couldn't save your money and get out of this, right? So the only way that someone could see a decent return in a short amount of time that could really change their life was crypto, and in crypto, and that's the thing. Crypto's not political. It's not red or blue. It's about being free, right? It's about transacting borderlessly. If I want to get something from you or you want to get something from me, you don't have to go to a bank, put in your entire life, right? Your social security number, your address to get a card, so then I can get that number from that card. And what people don't realize is how archaic the system is. You leave your banking, like if I go to let's say Randy's restaurant and I get some food, she has my credit card, right? Just the other day, I was doing a transaction, the lady would go, "What's the 3 on the back?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm like, I'd give it to her like it's like," and I'm like, if she decides, I mean, she's fine, right? But if she decides, if she goes into a hardship tomorrow, she could order a bunch of stuff on eBay right then, and it most likely it could get there. Every once in a while you get the call like, "Is this you?" But there's if it's in your zip code and it's not that far away, there's a likelihood it might go through. So we give our information out to everyone every day with a credit card. In crypto, you give the money to the person. It's a more secure system, Yeah,
it's just like cash. There's no ties when you give cash to somebody else. It's just, here's your money. I walk away, you walk away, and it's all good. I mean, 100%. Sometimes I think about that when I'm placing orders. I read out the card number. They ask for the 3 on the back. I'm a little sketched out by that. I give it to them, and then they ask for your zip code too for the extra confirmation. And I'm just sitting there like, hopefully you don't use this.
Yeah. How many times have I given that away to someone and just been like, okay, like just don't hurt me, please?
Because there's no other way, and that's unfortunate. Like they can't send you like a lightning invoice and say, hey, just pay this invoice, and it gets, the blockchain says, okay, and we're all good. So I'm waiting for that.
You can see, I love what you just say, because you can see where we're getting there, right? Like it's what we want, I always tell everyone, my business, like why I had a really good year this year, right? Very in the bear market, successful year in a trading group, successful year in an internet business. Number one, the internet's growing. So as long as you get I tell all my young people and everyone out there, get involved in the internet.
Absolutely.
It's expanding like this. And it's like, I always do everything in visuals. Picture the internet like a bunch of helicopters that are landed and they're all taking off. So look at 1 million helicopters and you're watching them and they're all taking off from the central point and they're just going to keep going out. And it's like, you just got to grab one of those helicopters. And as the internet expands and they keep going out, like, wherever, if you're in the internet now and you stay in it, a year from now, you're going to be bigger than you were a year ago, right? Because the internet, more people are coming in every day. More people are learning. People think YouTube's old that have been in it for a long time, but YouTube is just getting started. Twitter's going to start. He's talking about having a competition to YouTube, right?
He should.
Soon is going to be on. We're going to be able to super chat us with Dogecoin.
Yeah,
it's coming. It's coming. Like so. The revolution is just getting started, the digital, financial revolution, and it's going to come with a Web3 identity. You're going to surf the web with basically an address. You're going to pay for things with transactions and gas. You're never going to sign in again. 10 years from now, hopefully it's all over. And again, my thing is this though. It sounds great. What about like control and digital money and like, what is your worry about CBDCs and what does the youth think about that? Like, and I just go back to you because you're a little younger. So when I think about how you guys are getting, like I've already been pushed through all the nonsense. Like they try to give, I got to credit cards and I got to crypto, but you guys are so young and you're just getting into crypto. So if they can misconstrue what crypto really is to the masses before they even really realize, then like, could they entrap us with blockchain,
Yeah, that's a good thought. And I've been thinking about that as well because we do have an educational gap to fill. However, I think Bitcoin adoption is spreading really quickly. A lot more people know about it than they used to, especially Gen Z. We're digitally native, so the whole concept of digital money, it's already there, right? I bought a ton of, like, for Christmas, iTunes gift cards. Give me only that. I used to go on the App Store, go on my favorite game and buy tokens and buy assets within the games. And maybe I spend too much money doing that. And I wish they were NFTs because I could sell them or trade them off for something else, right? So I think, especially when CBDCs come around and they tell you that you can't go buy crypto, or you have to transfer your dollars in your bank account to digital dollars, and that your cash that you have hiding under your mattress is no longer valuable and you can't spend it anywhere, then that's when people are going to look for an alternative, and they're going to say, hey, hold on a minute. What can I use that's decentralized, that's peer-to-peer and permissionless, versus the CBDC that they said, if I don't, spend 10% of my wealth this month, that it goes away.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to have to face, and that's the war.
You made me realize, like, the point I was making. I was like, because I didn't want to, like, oh, my business did good. Why did he say that? The point of what I said, why my business did well, is because what do I do for a living, right? I scan the market from like 4 to 7 in the morning, right? Mm-hmm. And by the time my show comes on at 10, I've looked at the dollar index. I've looked at, so if you've had a hectic morning, if you ran around, if you run a different type of company, or if you had to bring your kids to school, if you sit down with me at 10 a.m., you already know that I'm going to be able to deliver you the market that first hour, right? And I'm basically going to be the Uber of TA, right? I'm going to give you Bitcoin. I'm going to give you S&P. I'm going to give you some altcoins. And I'm like, and you're going to see a little, and that's why people care, right? They're like, this guy saves me time, right? That's why Uber is successful. So the other day I was like, well, how do you become successful? All you have to do is find something to save people time, some way, shape, or form, or entertain them so much that you're actually giving them so much back during that time that they love it, like this show. You know what I mean? And you also have amazing people on the show that do save you time because you give us good information, right? And because you keep looking for the good people, you're getting good at this now. So now your show is the place to go to when people need structured, focused info. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to become the next Valuetainment, but you're going to blow that away and be something different. You are hustling. I mean, look at everybody. She's had every single analyst on. She's had BitBoy, Gareth, me. I mean, every time I look at her channel, there's someone else on there dropping alpha, giving good information, right? And so the point of the story that I'm making is crypto will survive because Uber survived. Uber's great because you can sit at that. It's amazing when you sit at that restaurant. It could be raining out. If you're like me, I lived in New York City 20 years. I can't tell you how many times I went up and I had my hand trying to get a cab, and in the rain, everyone's trying to get a cab at the same corner.
Oh my gosh,
you gotta walk 3 corners away, and then you gotta wait, and you're like, is that one? Then you run over, someone grabs it. You're like, but I had that one. You have to give it to a lady if it's a lady, if you're a man. And then you go for the next one. You're soaked by the time you get in. It's been 20 minutes. You could have been home by then. And Uber took care of all that, right? I can't even believe there's yellow cabs now still. Like, I feel bad, but
they're used a lot.
Yeah, still, right? In New York City, people still jumping in and out.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
What about the green ones? They're green now or something, right?
Those are hybrids, I believe.
Right. You're funny.
Yeah, I believe they're hybrids. Some are fancy.
They're borough cars. Like, they can't leave Queens. Like, a green cab can't leave Queens.
Is that true? Right. I know that. I know I've seen them, like, lingering around, but I know a lot of them are hybrids. I've noticed a lot of them.
Yeah. That's cool.
But
so I believe we're going to win. It's going to take some time. We will see, the evil parties try to use the tech in an immoral way. But as long as we have the right people in the industry who care, I believe it'll take time. But I eventually think that the strong and the good will survive. I believe that, even though it doesn't seem like it at right now. I believe it will.
I'm with you 100%. Listen, CBDCs, of course, are going to push it on us. They tell us all the time, crypto is horrible. If you've been watching the Senate hearings this week, they brought up crypto being bad more than they brought up Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. And Cynthia Loomis said it perfectly. This is not a crypto issue. This is a fraud issue, right? So they always want to bash crypto because it's something that's going to overtake everything. And they know that, which is why they try to act down, but then they come out with the CBDC, New York Federal Reserve, and a current pilot program for digital currencies, and numerous countries. I don't know if you've been watching, have been announcing their pilot programs that are out already. India, Nigeria, all these places. It's absolutely horrible. Another... I don't know if you saw, to push a CBDC, I think it was Nigeria. I covered it on my show. Basically, what they're doing is, if you're an individual, you can't withdraw more than $45 per week from the ATM. And if you go over it, then you get a 5% charge.
I just saw that. and like only $200 a month or something. Like, yeah,
For a
so
business, it's a little bit more.
yeah, I saw that. I went over that on my channel. Yeah, they're basically limiting your ability to use cash to force you into a CBDC.
Exactly. And we're seeing that already.
And then you see people that are less educated in a third world country that just kind of like, they'll just take it. Like some people will be like, what is this? But most of them are just like, oh, I'm going to like, whatever gets me bread first. Like I need to eat, you know, it's like they take away your basic rights. They make life hard on you. And then they say the answer is CBDC. You know what I mean? It's so,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, you know, even if you look up on the European government website, like the digital euro, they're like, this is not private money. No, not even close to private money. It's not even like, you shouldn't even put it in the same sentence because it's absolutely ridiculous. It really is. And it's sad that, you know, that's what it's coming to is complete and total control because not only is a CBDC control over your finances, it's a control over your life. So we have to make sure, like, you know, no matter what the price of Bitcoin is and cryptocurrency, you have to be able to have money that belongs to you. And, you know, maybe, you know, we're going to get into charts a little bit today, but if you don't watch the charts a lot, then learn from Lifer and people like him or dollar cost average. If you want to set a recurring buy automatically every Friday, buy $10 of Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Just make sure you have money that belongs to you.
Yep.
And of course, price is important and watching the charts is super important. How do you feel that watching the charts has, you know, taught you about maybe the events or, you know, has it told you a little bit more about what the market is saying while looking at these events going down during the bear market?
I mean, look, check it out.
Oh, yay. Oh, wait, let me give you the permission. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
So just even today, right? It was interesting. If you read the news came out and said that Mazars, right? M-A-Z-A. I may be saying it wrong. Mazar.
Yeah,
right?
I think yeah.
Mazars.
I think.
They were going to be a third party audit and they were auditing Binance. And then out of nowhere, they just like, and to me, it's because they're probably politically connected to someone in that hearing. And then Kevin O'Leary's went in his mouth. And then it's just like.
They had an actor in that hearing, Sam. That was like a joke. That was so crazy.
It was a conflict of interest. You know what I mean? Someone and like, or they wanted to corroborate his story, or for all we know, they were going to do that, and that was their plan to do the audit and to run away from the audit to make CZ look bad.
But you know what I mean? Even
like,
what CZ said this morning was really valid, or the other day on CNBC, is that they don't particularly know how to audit a crypto exchange. This has to do with blockchain. This isn't just like money sitting in a bank account or at a certain firm. This is so different. But yeah.
Like if anyone knows how to do it, it's CZ, which is kind of crazy. I know.
Absolutely.
That's what everyone wants to hear, but the point is they were like Bitcoin slubs, you know, Bitcoin dumps on Mazar pullout, you know, Bitcoin slumps on Binance Mazar pullout. But like the point of the story is last night, if you were in my trading group, I was saying, here's bearish divergence. This is a rising wedge. Rising wedges break down 68% of the time. So it was like, it's just so interesting how it's like, show me the charts and I'll show you the news, you know, like the charts were telling me that we were going to have some type of bad, you know, and then they have this bad article and they try to tell you. So I cannot tell you how many times like I saw the chart and what I saw on the chart actually ended up playing out, you know, over time. And I want to make it clear because I do a lot of TA and, you know, I don't know, there was some people thinking like, I think my TA is the best. I clearly don't believe that. I believe I put in a lot of work. But I just want to let it, like, TA is open-minded. Like, you know, I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. Like, all I know is what I do every day. And everyone has a different look at TA. You know, TA kind of,
yep.
You know, so I just want everyone to know that. Like, I don't think my TA is the greatest TA on earth. And I may be, like, people may look at me and ask me questions all the time. But I am just a man, you know, going over probability. You know, that's just, you know, that's all. I just want to, like, because I love everybody and I want everyone, you know, I am inclusive to all YouTubers here and everyone that does TA.
No, you do great. And especially if you look down in your descriptions on each video, there's always labeled with timestamps what coins or tokens he covered during the stream, which I think is very nice of you to put.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that for a while. See, this is how organic YouTube was. I started doing YouTube and I'm doing, you know, 10, 20 coins a day, 30 coins. And someone was like, hey, you know, I missed your stream, but I really like to go through it. Like, but it's unfair because I have to watch your entire, like, I'm like, yeah, but I want you to watch the whole stream. But, you know, and then eventually someone was like, you really need timestamps. Like all the pro YouTubers have that. And I'm like, And I went to do it one day and I was like, not going to happen, guys. Like, I was like, I do my show. And like, you ain't going to see me go through my whole thing. And then one day someone from the Philippines hit me up and was like, listen, like, we don't make that much money. I would do that for, what would you think an hourly rate? And what I thought was fair, he thought was amazing. And he's like, I'll do it every day for 2 hours. And I was like, I'll do it for a month for free just to make sure that you can trust me. And he did it for a month for free. I hired him. Eventually I got a virtual assistant, and that person went on their way. And now I have an amazing virtual assistant who, like, he just cares about everything that I'm doing. Like, he's like, Sam wakes up every day. Sam streams every day. Sam's tired. Sam's this. Like, I have a team. They're like, yo, we see how hard you work. You're not going to be able to do it alone. And man, it makes me cry. Like, I bought him a computer, and like, he did it. Like, I bought him a computer because he had a little, his computer was like, he needed something better, And so like, we put together a list of parts, and like, he showed it to me, and I bought it. It was like, it was like $1,800, whatever, in the Philippines. And he brought it home, and he shot a little documentary, and like, he showed it to me, and like, I know I was crying my show, but it broke my heart. Like, watching my virtual assistant, like, set up his little computer, and he's like, thank you, Sam. Like, you changed my life. Like, I can do so much more with this now. Like, and I was just like, man, like, and like, that's what you get when you show up and work every day, or when you help other people. Like, you get to do things for other people that make you feel amazing. Like, no amount of money could change the way I look at his smile. And the fact that he spent probably like 6 to 7 hours. He edited a real vlog for me so I could like watch him walk to the store. I watched him with his wife. I looked at him down in the Philippines. Like, it just broke my heart,
That's amazing.
Yeah, like, I know you asked me about the chart. Looking at the chart, but I was
that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And speaking of sharing, Ozzy, thank you so much in the chat for gifting 10 memberships. And also, I got a super chat before. It was €2 from a friend, and it was Love Learning. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Love Learning is such a sweetheart. So just to go over the charts for your people, right? Rising wedge, we came up to 18K. That was the last time we wicked. So once we got up there, you would figure the previous wick is always going to be an area of resistance, So we hit a resistance, we had a bearish divergence, and we came down. When I'm looking at the daily now, the daily suggests that we're just getting started, and this dump has a lot more to go because you're just getting started here on the stochastics RSI. You're ending your MACD run, and you're beginning the dump from a falling wedge. And falling wedges love to break down where they began. If this was a rising wedge. If this is a falling wedge, it would break up. Rising wedge, it breaks down. And I have this circled area because I'm looking for a possible double bottom at 15,500. Right?
I was going to say, do you think we could hit a new bottom? Because I know some people are saying 14, maybe 8 is in the cards.
I had this chart for you waiting. I like to put a few charts for you so I can bounce quick. I spent like a nice 20 minutes before your show just getting ready because I want to make sure I have things quick for us. So I saw this flag, and if you look at this flag, it just has a measured move about to like your next area. It could even maybe extend it a little more. I'm trying to be like somewhat cautious of that flag. And that gives me a $14,300 Bitcoin. And if you look at it, we're in this up, down, up, you come back here, up, down. Do we make it past this? We may jettison up a little more, maybe hit that. But another thing that I look for, and which is really interesting, is every single time, I don't care what asset it is, to what I teach and what I go over, you can put on any asset in the world. So like if I tell you a truth or I go over something or I make a technical statement, you could put it on Tesla. You could put it on Cheerios. You could put it on oil, right? You could put it on anything. So the idea, what I'm trying to tell you is I use a simple band, which I use a 5 MA simple band, which is a simple moving averages, not like most people are using an exponential band, right? An EMA band. And what that means is I use the 21, the 50, the 80, the 100, and the 200. The 200 is my yellow line here. So whenever you see the yellow line, that's my 200 simple. Every time we start a bull run, any bull run and that's any asset in the world, the first thing that happens is you'll get a candle to close on the 4 hour above the 200 simple. So like here, when we had this nasty dump, right? This was the pandemic dump of March 2020. We came back up. The second we got a candle to close in the 4 hour above the 200 simple, we went from 6,000 all the way to a high of about 10,000. We made a nice 40% move. Then we went sideways. We went below it again. Once we got above it again, big pump. Once we got above it again, big pump. Now, it doesn't mean it's always going to be a huge move. Like it's going to be a carryover move. Like it might last 2 to 3 weeks. It might last a week, but it will give you a move. So like, look, if you go back in time here, so we've been trading this in my trading group, just something I've been looking at. So like here, the second we got above it there, Bitcoin went from 40,000 all the way up to 47,000, 48,000. Quick little $8,000 move, about 25%, right? And you may not get all of the move, but maybe you get 3%, maybe you get 10%, maybe you get 5%. At least for the rest of your life, there's a likelihood of a bullish push to the upside every time price action gets above this. So
wow.
So I was waiting for this. And what will happen first, which is really interesting, is price action will gravitate up towards the 200 simple. So the first thing you're going to see is you'll see a big dump. Price action will dump below the 200 simple. And I'll show it to you in a few other places here. But like here we got it. Like price dumped below the 200 simple. It gets tight and it'll eventually
pop.
It pops and it gravitates right to the 200 simple. It's
wow.
just something you can see.
And it went right past it too.
Yeah, sometimes it can. It depends. Sometimes it hits it, goes near it. So here, the second I saw this, I started telling my trading group, get ready. We're likely going to get a move up to the 200 SMA, right? And a bunch of coins did it beforehand. Render did it. Like you'll see a few coins do it like a week beforehand. And I started to show my group. I was like, listen, this is something that you're going to see a lot when you come out of bottom areas, So I was saying, I didn't know it was going to be a great move, right? So you start small. So I was like, all right, we'll probably get to 200 simple. As if we get above the 200 simple, we'll get a move to the upside. How big, we don't know, right? So, but this is a cool thing you can use for the rest of your life on any asset in the world. So you saw what you want to really look for is you want to see all the other moving averages getting tight with the 200 on the outside. All right.
Wow.
I'm going to give you another cool gem. Whenever I'm in a long, all right, and price is going well, I like to get out when the 200 gets far away from the 200 SMA. That's the same move I'm teaching you now, just the opposite. If you can pick up what I'm putting down right now, like I'm giving you how to get into a long and how to open a long, or how to get out of a long and how to open a long. But I'm showing you inverse ideas. So look, Bitcoin really pumps. You can see it. And what will happen is it'll take all the moving averages away from the 200 simple. And that's when you probably should be taking profits because you're getting too far away from the 200 simple. And if you flip this upside down, that's like a dump and it pumps back up. So things that I learned when things were overextended, one day I flipped the chart upside down and I said, oh my God, like the truths in the chart are the same, whether you're looking at it upside down or not, right?
Yeah.
So I looked back and I said, oh my God, because I know how to get out. So look, I don't know if people can bear with me here. Because I know how to get out when the 200 is too high, right? So this would be a place to get out. So because price likes to dump back to the 200. So that makes me think, price should pump back to the 200.
Exactly, the reverse.
So I traded long for years, and then I figured out how to trade short by back engineering what I learned. And then I found ways to get out or ways to get in, and it blew my mind, Wow. So if we fast forward this, you'll see we eventually push up. We do jettison to the 200 SMA. And that's what's cool, people in my trading group, because for 4 or 5 days, I'll be like, everyone watch. We're likely to go to the 200. We're likely to push up to the 200. And then when it happens, they're like, wait, what does this guy know? How does he know that? And I'm like, listen, these are just truths that you'll find over time. So now we play with it. And you'll see the second we get above that 200, you're going to get, we end up getting that spike to the upside, right? Now,
that's so spicy.
It wasn't amazing, but, and there's that spike, right? And there's the move. Now, we came all the way back down and we're testing it now. So if we close a candle below it, we're going to go down. So, and I don't know how far, but we're going to at least go down to the next level, 15,009, 15,005. So we're at a precipice right now. We're
on the cusp of a storm. Yeah,
we could, so here's the two things that are going to happen, which is sad. I don't know exactly. I can get the probability. We are oversold in the 4 hour. Can we get the V-shaped recovery back in? If we get back above this trend line, we're safe. And we can at least for then stay inside this pattern, and the pattern could break out at one point, right? So you're like, okay, even though it's mainly a bearish pattern. So what I'm looking for is what's called a retest. We would try to get back in, but we won't be able to get back in. We'll close a candle here or here, and we'll start going sideways, or we'll make some type of M on the 15 or the 7. And that'll be what's called a bearish retest. We tried to get back inside, but we could not. And that would be a better indication that the short's going to go down. If I had to place it, I would stay short because the daily still has momentum to the downside. And that tells me that we're likely headed down to the beginning of the wedge, which is 15,500, 15,600. So it's most likely we end down there. But there's a chance the 4 hour gives us a shot out of this. The only way is we're going to have to break back inside this trend line to remain bullish, right? And if you see in the next 5 to 6 hours, a 4-hour candle close below this 200 SMA, we're going to go down pretty fast. Yeah. And you can back test this. Look at every time we close a candle below there. Look, sayonara.
Just a dump.
Right there. Sayonara. Right.
Wow.
Right.
And then went over there, right now where your little cross is right now, or where it wasn't a second ago, when it went above, price action went above, then it was like, it went up, but it was a little choppy, but retested it.
It wasn't good enough. Yeah. And like, great point that you just made was, yeah, so we got the move, right? Cool. But let's go. And now this is why I love being fancy with my moving averages. I love using fibs and stuff. But this is why I always bring it right back to support and resistance. What is this yellow line and why is it here? Right? Well, look, we came to a wick, we wicked, we bounced. So if we bring this kind of right to that candle close, we can see that that is previous support. So that's an area that we have to get above. If Bitcoin can't break back above previous support, so you'll get these moves and you'll understand these ideas, but then you set up your support and resistance. So you're like, okay, I know we're going to bounce off the 200 SMA, but can we get above that previous resistance now that's been laid out by the previous support, right? And so that's when you, and then so I was looking like, man, we're going to have to break above 17,800, and basically we had to close a candle back above 18K to remain bullish. Like if we can't get above this wick here, and that will coincide with basically breaking out of this trend line. See this big trend line that's that. So trend lines are important. If we keep hitting them, they'll become resistance until we can break back above them. And so today I see the 4-hour or the 1 hour trying to get us back inside this pattern because we're oversold in a wedge. So that the small time local probability is that we're going to break back up. How strong that back up, how strong that move, and always be wary for the M too. Like we could come up, make an M pattern, and then that will just take us down too as well.
Wow. So this could really go either way. We're at a cusp. Yeah.
So the 4-hour could pump, and then if the 4-hour does pump, you need a 4-hour or a daily candle to close above 18,400 really for Bitcoin to remain bullish. You don't get that, it's likely a fake out, and you're going to end up down somewhere at 15,005.
Friends, be wary of the Bitcoin price. Also, while we're here, I want to thank Bulldog for dropping 10 more memberships.
Bulldog.
Yeah, Bulldog.
Bulldog.
Yeah. And we got another super chat from Meninja. So thank you so much. I appreciate you guys sharing so much love today. And also, I noticed like we went up, but then a few days ago, but then we also gave our gains back. Why was that? Because of the FOMC meeting? I think that's when that happened, right? Like we were up 5% and then we came down 5%.
Well, the thing is, it really was technical analysis, because if you look at the TA, the way it was set up, the daily was pinned high. All right. So you knew that any gain you were getting on the smaller time frames were kind of, I say the word ephemeral, short-lived. Mm-hmm. They weren't going to be, they probably weren't. Had the daily been low and that we got that pump with Jerpow.
I love the way Tom Crown says it. He goes, Jerpow.
Yeah, Jerpow. Well, it's funny, like whenever you watch, like, like I love the humor of like, So I Married an Axe Murderer, or of the humor of like, Ben Stiller when he did all his like, his Zoolander movies and stuff. And it's like, and like there was this one guy who was like working for the one of the publications, like the Journal, and he was like, chirp out. And he literally said chirp out. I was like, yo, this guy's so, and like I don't think he did it on purpose, but I just like, it made me laugh so hard. He's like, chirp out. Wondering about the we going.
I love the troll.
So the 4-hour was low. All right. It was down here. And so we were all like, oh, we're gonna get so me as a trader, I was looking at this triangle here. See? This was called an ascending triangle, which we knew had a measured move the base of the triangle to the upside. So we were looking for this breakout. But once that happened, the 4-hour got overbought, right? And the daily was already telling you that you weren't, and you hit the resistance at 18K. Remember that previous? So it's like, had there been no meeting at all, this might have happened exactly the same way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no way of telling. We couple it and we say, oh, this is why it happened, He also was somewhat dovish. He wasn't too bearish. Once he started talking, the price started dumping. To me, it was, look, this is swing up to swing up. That's a swing, and that's your next swing. And this is swinging down. And like, that's just bearish divergence. Like,
exactly.
It's just telling you that there wasn't that many people interested at these prices at this present moment in time. And even me, like, I have enough money on the sidelines to buy more Bitcoin. I bought some 16, I bought some 18. And now I'm sitting like, maybe it will go lower. It's interesting. So,
On the bottom of your screen, I see like little R's. Are those resistance indicators?
yeah, this is just the like I'm using my I find my own divergences.
Yeah.
But this guy just threw like it's a stochastics RSI, but he just threw divergences on there for you if you want. And like, sometimes it catches one I may not notice. Like it did catch this one, which is pretty interesting. There was a little divergence here, like slight.
A tiny one.
Yeah, and there was a little one like right there. Yeah, there was one right here that was a lot more intense because like that's a swing down, and this is like flatter, and But like honestly, it's weird. As much as I show this, because I do show this to beginners when I'm teaching my class, and I'll be like, but I barely use them. Like it's weird. Like I find all my divergences on my own.
Well, I think you should, and then look at those for like confirmation.
Yeah, it's like every once in a while he'll find one like this. Like it'll be like this, like one that I would never see, and he'll use like this point and that point, and then he'll swing it. Like see, like this is a divergence here. Somehow, like I don't know what that. Like he found it like this, and like or it's like up like that, and he found like a divergence, but. And it kind of played out. You can see we did pump from there right off the move, So it's like, but I'm such an old school person. Like even if you gave me an indicator that worked great, I would back engineer it, learn how it worked, probably put up the old indicators and then use them. Like I would it's like I'm so strange in a lot of my approaches for things. I find I'm very old school, like some dude from the past or something,
I think that's okay though. If you know what you're doing, then do it. And then, sometimes the indicators help. But I was just asking just because like I saw little R's and I wanted to know what it meant.
Well, like everyone loves Market Cipher because it puts those green dots in. And one day I sat there and I don't have Market Cipher anymore. I have to get them to like I bought it for lifetime just so I'd have it, but I changed my name on TradingView. And when I did that, I lost access because they gave access to my old trading name. But I would slap the indicator up and show the green dots, and then I would just go and show you bullish divergence on the RSI and price action. And like what I would do is I would hide the indicator, find all the divergences, tell you where the green dots were going to be, put lines, and then put the indicator on, and all the green dots would be where the lines were. And I would show you that you could find all those green dots on your own. You know what I mean? Not to hate. I just found out how people were making indicators, like by playing with all the things that everyone was playing with. Eventually, you would start realizing that there's overlap in information. People were using this, some people were using that. And, like the MACD, the moving average convergence and divergence. I used to use the MACD, but I didn't use the moving averages. I didn't know them. Eventually, I started using the moving averages. And look, like the moving averages get tight, then they get far apart. You get in when the moving averages are tight. This is what I learned. You want to get out when the 21 and the 200 get far apart.
Oh, wow.
The MACD is called the moving average convergence and divergence. Convergence, I took Spanish. Con means to come with me, right? Con me. So convergence means to be together, right? Through etymology. So when I look at convergence, that means the moving averages are converging together. When they're diverging, the moving average convergent diverges. Now I knew how the guy created the MACD. He back engineered it by using moving averages. And then basically when the moving averages are far apart, he gives you a sell signal that tells you they're diverging. And when they're tight, he gives you a buy signal that tells you they're converging. Oh my God, and I used the MACD for years and I only called it the MACD. I didn't even know it was called the moving average convergence and divergence, but now I use the moving averages and the MACD together. And now I can teach people things that like I never even thought possible. Like I get goosebumps during my tutoring sessions because I know that people are getting information. They just that's like getting them excited and making them realize that they can really change their lives,
Wow. That go off, Sam. I love how you do your research. That's so impressive to me. Just like watching all of this and figuring out how it all really works. Because I do have respect for you. I have respect for anyone that does charts because, man, it's a lot of information and a lot to like understand. It's a whole new language and to execute upon all of that and look at and try to predict based on all of this information. It's a lot.
We got beautiful, sexy Tom Crown out there right now.
Tom Crown, woo!
Yo. He's the sexiest man in crypto right now. Straight up.
I love Tom Crown. He was going off the other day. He was wearing a tank top on stream. I was like, go off, Tom.
Wait. We gotta spotlight him right now because he had me rolling. Like he had me rolling. Where is this? When he had the Durapal face, but he had the tank top. Like, yo, Tom, you're the man, dude. I love that. Like, I can't find it, but
Tom's super funny, bro. I really do love him.
He had me. Oh, here it is. Look, there it is. Like,
I didn't see that. Oh my God. I can't.
Oh man.
Tom, you're such a troll, bro. I love it. And I hear his voice right now saying, Jerpow, Jerpow. Oh my gosh. Bulldog, another 10 memberships. What are you doing, bro? Thank you so much. You're crazy.
Strong, man. The Bulldog is strong in the building.
He really is. Oh my gosh. And we hit 100 likes on stream. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
10,000 subs is a big deal. I'm gonna send you a cake.
Oh my gosh. Please. I'll take any food. I love food. I really do. What has been your bear market snack?
Oh, it's funny you said that. What have I been doing? I've been doing a bunch of different things. There is bear market snacks because you can't stare at the charts all night long. You know what I mean? So I've been doing, I'm a big raw milk guy. Like I go to the farm and I get the raw milk, like right from the cow, right?
That's
good. I have raw milk, chocolate milk, and it's like raw milk is a whole food. Like it really has everything. It has fats, probiotics. Like they don't whatever. We can't get into that either. Who knows? Like I can't say anything.
Well, I feel like milk is weird now. Continue.
But so yeah, I love drinking chocolate. I'm a sucker for pudding and chocolate milk. Like my family wants to make me happy. Like my mom will make me like a chocolate pudding pie. Like I am a pudding dude. I don't like cake. I don't like cupcakes. I have like a dry mouth thing going on. So I like moist things. I like all my chicken dark. I don't like white meat chicken. I like dark chicken.
I agree, 100%.
Everyone knows
it's dry. The white part's dry.
I'm sitting there like.
Yeah, like you need some gravy or mashed potato, something with that. Yeah.
And then I can just get into that dark meat and just, oh man, it's like
I'm with you.
Babe, can you make me some chicken?
Yeah, she'll get a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store and you're done.
Did you ever get one of those and just tear those up? Like when I was they're $8 and you just bring them home and just like, oh man, just tear up this rotisserie chicken right now.
What I like to do is I'd like to get like a little Italian bread and then put the rotisserie chicken on it, put a little lettuce and then like a little salad dressing because sometimes you got to add the zest and it's really good. Sometimes I do Italian or like a red wine type, like a light red wine vinaigrette type. And it's like a little on the healthy side. I usually eat crap, so that's like one of my healthier meals.
Fresh mozzarella and tomato with the basil.
Absolutely. You got to get the balsamic on it though.
Yeah, you got to get the balsamic. It ain't happening. Like it's just not happening.
Like a good Italian antipasto. That's it. I love it. You gotta love food. I mean, man, you have to have a good bear market snack. So I'm happy you have one. I mean, I love cupcakes. And I know you said you're not really going for the cupcakes right now.
My wife is the cupcake one. She is just, a good sweet, moist red velvet. It's gotta be moist though. And don't give me that caked up caked up frosting that's been there for so long.
No.
It better be creamy and I better be
a nice little swirl.
Yeah. It's got to be I go to those high end $6 cupcake places. If I'm going to eat a cupcake, it's got to be some
top
special.
Notch.
Yeah, it's got to be this place called Tate in Newton in Massachusetts. They'll give you the top notch cupcakes,
Yeah. There's this one place in my neighborhood. They have a few locations throughout Brooklyn, but it's $4 for a cupcake now, and they're like half the size they used to be. But let me tell you, it's a bomb cupcake, and the frosting just hits. And I love a good red velvet cake, and people
pop some visuals out for people.
Yes, please. I've gotten so much crap in the past for liking red velvet cupcakes, but red velvet cupcakes with a nice cream cheese frosting, there's nothing like it. Nothing.
All right, here's one thing I gotta ask. This is kind of serious, and I'm sorry I hope you don't get offended. Right?
Okay.
Do you get into the whole pumpkin spice thing every year?
No, I'm not a pumpkin person, and I might get some hate for that, but I don't like pumpkin, and I don't understand the obsession.
Me neither. You go back, I love it. I was like, oh, I can't do that. I'm not a pumpkin pie guy.
Me neither.
And everyone's like, oh, try pumpkin. And they do that whole thing. Like everyone tries to do it. Like McDonald's tries to do a pumpkin burger for Christ's sakes. I feel like
no,
they don't do it. But I'm exaggerating. But it feels like
that'd be horrible.
Everyone and their mother tries to sell you some
pumpkin spice something. And then you know what? Don't even get me started with fall stuff. Also, shout out to Frankie G for becoming a member. Shouts to you, friend. What I don't like is when I go into Bath and Body Works in the fall and it smells like Ugh, I hate winter smells. I hate like the peppermints, the cinnamons. I don't want it. I like the tropical scents, like the Hawaiian
Yeah,
scents,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
only do those during the summer. So it's like during the summer, you gotta like buy a million soaps and a million candles,
You
because
can smell
then
like guava all day long.
yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
And I'm more of a summer person all around. Summer breeze in the chat, yes. West,
That's why I'm moving to Florida.
yeah.
I want it to be nice all the time.
Hope, yeah. The Bath and
No
Body Works
income
is still
tax.
seasonal down there, unfortunately.
Income tax, so it's better for your business, right? If you have a grid running business in the long run. Shout out to Lifer Friend, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to everyone in the chat.
Yeah, there's so many
Shout
lifer
out to Timmy
friends.
313, Frankie G. Wow,
Yeah, Frankie G became a member today.
it's a big deal.
Yeah, I'm so happy. No, everyone is really supportive here. And what, I don't even know if we went over it the last time you were on my show. Did we go over why you guys say 333 all the time? And why that's important?
Yeah, I just lost my job in '08. I remember in the '08 crisis. I was like, I got hired, like, I was out of college in '05. It was like my second or third, like, I spent 2 years trying to look for work and in and out of jobs. And I wasn't like that. I didn't run into the workforce. I was kind of like, oh man, I'm gonna have to work 9 to 5. Like, this is whack, and I eventually started researching like, Freemasons, all sorts of stuff, right? Near-death experiences, everything like that. And honestly, it's like, you learn like Freemasons use the number 33, the 33rd degree, right? It's like a 33rd degree Freemason. That's like when you get to the highest level of Masonry. And I started realizing like the 33 was used in so many weird different things, and honestly, then I know this is weird, but I just started like seeing it like all the time. Like, and then I started seeing people see it who were around me. Like, it was weird. Like, I remember I was dating this Colombian woman and she was like, and I'm sitting with her and I was like, I just, it's the number 333. Like, something about it. She's like, my first paycheck. And she runs in and she grabs it and it's $3.33 from like this hair salon thing she was doing. And she's like, my first paycheck. And I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if they give it to her I don't know what it was.
The
But
simulation moment.
yeah, and it started happening to the point of no return, like literally creepy. Like my wife, like the other day I went into a random little store and I'm like, let me get this. I just pick a hat for no reason. Like, I did not need a hat. I was like, I'll just buy a hat because I was on vacation. Like, then I was like, oh, I'll get some bubbles for the kid. And then I was like, and one last thing. And then my like daughter pointed at like a pink thing. And I was like, you want the pink thing? Like, whatever it is. If I'm in a good mood, I'm a dad, I'll just buy whatever the kid points at. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
put it in the bag,
Oh, that's so sweet.
And the lady's like 33, And then, so my wife was like, how much is it? And I'm like, how much do you think it is? And she's like, 33. And it's like, I'll do one last thing at the last minute. I'll be like, just put this in. I'm like, let me just get this. And the guy was like, all right, that's $33. And like, the car will stop. It'll be 33. Like, I'll go somewhere. Like, the plane, like, it's really weird. Like, I'll get random plane tickets. Like, they'll be at 33. Like, my buddy dropped me off. We had to go to Miami in like the middle of the morning. I'm like, where's the gate? I'm like, it's gate 33. Like, even
Stop
today,
it.
if you watch my live stream earlier today, like, as I'm doing the live stream, we had 333 people watching exactly when we had 233 likes. And I was just like, and I showed the screen. I was like, what are the odds, And then, I don't know. Then the last 4 months, it's been 77, which I never saw ever in my life, ever. Never saw 77 for any reason. Never made it happen, never forced it. And my dad liked it. All these people liked the number. They used to say, we love it. I never saw it. I went to Vegas. My flight was 777 on my way to Vegas. And that was when all that stuff happened and I met Sin City Crypto. We went recently to Florida. The house was 777 was the address, Something else happened, 777. Like, lately I've been seeing it to the point, like, so weird. Like, I'll look at a coin, it'll be on the 777s. I'll be like, or Bitcoin will be like 17,777, like right when I start the live, and then it'll like leave. And I'll show people, like, while it's happening, I'll be like, there it is again. Look, everyone, because like I have to prove it to people that it's really happening because I'm like, look, it's happening on the live,
Yeah.
People think it's in your head or whatever, but I see it all the time. It's really, and then people will be like, dude, those are angel numbers. Like, that means you're on the right track or that. And I always see it when I'm doing the right thing or I'm going somewhere. Like, we'll change plans. We'll go somewhere. The car in front of me, I'll look up and the license plate will be 33. And it's just like, it's as if there's this person that's watching me. Like,
Just giving you signs.
this is my explanation is we may live in a simulation and there's a chance that you walk into this, say you live, this is going to trip everybody out, but you're 37, you're 25, you're 20, whatever you're old. And you know that there's this simulation device where you can go into it and it's going to make you feel like you're living a life, and it's going to feel like an entire life. It's going to feel like you were born, and it's only going to take 3 to 4 hours, but you're going to be in there and it's going to feel like life, right?
Yep.
So what if we're like in some coffee shop right now in a simulation, like waiting for this whole life to end, and when it ends, like we take it off and they're like, well, isn't that amazing? And you're like, oh my God, though. And what if like you're able to like program things, and like somehow like the 33 is like messages to myself in the simulation? Like I can't, I'm getting crazy now, but that's like how I look at it, because I can't explain it at this point, because it happens all the time,
No, I feel that. I see 222 everywhere. So, and a lot of friends in the chat are saying that they see 333 everywhere. Someone said Love Learning said, did you know that the angel number 333 is also a love number? In the interest of love, seeing repeating number 333 is a message reminding you to surrender and trust all outcomes. That's beautiful. I love
honestly,
that.
When I started changing who I was and I started living more spiritually, I did see these numbers more. When I was dull and I just kind of like was kind of like a paper person, like there wasn't much depth. I mean, maybe there wasn't, but I didn't really go too deep into things. I just kind of like took them as what they were. I didn't see this stuff as much. And I gravitate towards it. Like if I see someone with a 33 on their shirt and like they say something to me, I'm like I've used it to my first business ever. I was driving around, not one of my first businesses ever, but one of my first businesses. I was driving around Brooklyn looking for something different to do. I was like, I got to do something different than my job to become a millionaire. You can't just take your job, right? You got to have your job, and there has to be another source of income. I researched all the billionaires, seven forms of income. So it's like, I got a job. I guess the next thing I can do is figure out one, right? I'll take care of the other 5 at one point in my life. But right now I got to figure out 2. So I was driving my motorcycle around on like a Saturday, and there was a warehouse and it said 1333, and it was like Broadway or something. And I was like, the 30, I got to go in this warehouse. I had no idea what the hell it was. It was a toy warehouse. Guys flying a little drone. I eventually buy a few of them. I start playing them. I made a business out of it. I became the remote chief. It was one of my first YouTube channels. Wow. I started selling drones, and I would buy them in bulk from this warehouse. Just try to sell them to family and friends. I wasn't doing too well. My wife was like, you spent like $1,000 on these things. And like, how many people are going to buy them from you at work? And like, I met my buddy who owned a bicycle shop. And I said, hey, listen, can we put the toys in front of your shop during the Christmas holidays? And we'll do 60-40. I'll buy them all. I'll spend all the money, and I'll just give you 40% from putting them in your window. And he's like, cool, we'll do that. And so we did that. And that was like my first real business. Like I would buy drones and put them in this is such a cool story, right? Because it's like real business, like from like the very beginning. And I'm in Queens and Roosevelt. I meet this awesome dude who like became really good friends with me and let me hang out at the bike shop all the time. He worked 7 days a week. So I knew I had a place to go. Like if me and my wife, if I didn't want to be in my apartment, he was there from 7 a.m. to 7 at night every day. He worked 7 days a week. Every day I met him. Like there wasn't a day he wasn't there,
Grind.
And he taught me how to grind. He took apart drones. He was super smart. He helped me buy my motorcycle, took it apart, taught me how to redo the ignition. And I would never have bought the motorcycle if it wasn't for him. And then he drove it illegally without even telling me back from the place we bought it from. He's like, he didn't even tell me he didn't have a license. He's like, I'll drive it back. No worries, man. And I was like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was selling drones in the street, and it all started from just following that number. Really weird, and many other kind of stories like that kind of have followed my life with the 333. And so now it's ingrained in me. Like it's when you see my Twitter handle is Crypto Life at 33. Like I keep it around, and
yeah.
This will bug people out too. But like right here, you draw, this is a blank piece of paper right now. But like the second I draw this number, that's giving off a frequency. I have changed the actual space right here. And there's a number emitting an energy source from this space. Like numbers are energy. Like, and think about it. They represent something. Like they bug me out. You have a 1, you have 2, you have 3. Like what is 3? 3 is 3 of something. Like it bugs me out. I'm born on the 99th day of the year. That's 33 times 3.
Exactly. I was just going to say.
It's the only 9 that's on the 99 in the whole calendar, So it's weird. It's like, I don't know if there's something to it all, but there has to be. I think we live in a geometrical Fibonacci universe, and the numbers correlate to action and behavior.
It
whether you
does.
realize it or not. Yeah.
The only universal language is math, and it reaches everyone in different ways, whether that's charts, the numbers following you around. It's always there. Thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate that, Lifer. Thank you for sharing like all your knowledge with me today. Like this was a great time. Like I'm looking at the clock and time absolutely flew today, and I have to get you back soon to talk more because it's absolutely insane. I just really love our flow and like how we could just like break down everything. And I'm really happy that you came today and you shared so much. And just shout out to everything that you do. You work so hard, and I respect your grind so much. So thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you.
What I hope to accomplish through these interviews and our media that we create too is that we may come into the space through crypto, but people get to learn who Randy is, who Sam is, and one day I hope to interview, maybe Tom Brady about the FTX fiasco. Who knows? You know what I mean? But like it doesn't stop at just crypto. Like you're a personality. You're an amazing interviewer.
Thank you.
You're gonna get better at your craft. Like you're gonna become the next Larry King. You know what I mean? Randy King. Like whatever. And I don't want to tarnish you, but because I don't want to compare you to anything. You're your own person. But
thank you.
You're on your way to letting the world know who you are and bring other people into their lives. No one would know me that watches your channel if you didn't have me so many times. And so, people connect with you, they find you, they like you, and then you bring more people into their world, just like I do the same in my world. And giving back on YouTube too, like when you blow up and you're going to see someone who's like, hey, can I come on your channel? And you're going to research them a little bit, make sure they're on their grind. And then if you see that they're legit, you're like, yeah, you know what? This person deserves it. Like they're grinding.
Facts.
Come on. So it's like, tell yourself to grind hard so you can hook someone else up too. Like that's a good reason to grind.
Exactly.
I'll be able to like pay it forward when I'm somewhere later on.
No, I understand that. And, people have done that for me as well. Like there are friends that when I first came into this journey that were, just helping me in general when I had questions about crypto or if I had questions about, live streaming. And there were just so many people that helped me, and when they already knew the answer. So shout out to everyone that's so collaborative in this space, because not everyone's collaborative. Like, I like to be collaborative. You like to be collaborative. I see you everywhere. You talk to everyone, and that's the way it should be. So thank you to everyone that's helped me in the past, supported me. Everyone in this chat, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting Lifer. And everyone, if you saw his Twitter and YouTube link in the chat, please click that, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Lifer, besides what I put in the chat, where can everyone find you, and what is your message to everyone? It could be about food, it could be about Florida, it could be about the charts, it could be about Sam Bankman-Fried's hair, whatever you want, share it.
CryptoLifer.com. I bought the .com.
I'll put the
recently.
link.
I invested in that .com, and I forget to say it all the time. Go to CryptoLifer.com, and then everything kind of comes out from there. I'm on every social media, and I'm out there, and
Got it.
TikTok, regrettably. I said to my team yesterday, I was like, can we get off TikTok? And like, unfortunately, we kind of have to use it. And I was like, but isn't it like brainwash? I was like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, well, we have to.
Soon there's going to be an alternative.
Yeah.
I think.
So, I got a perfect thing to say is time. I'm turning 40 years old coming this spring. And I remember just being 28. And I remember starting my investment journey around 25 years old and thinking, oh, I'm going to make all these millions, or what could happen to me and what couldn't happen to me. And I've been through bear markets now. I've been through ups and downs. I've made hundreds of thousands. I've lost hundreds of thousands. I've been up. I've been down. I've had my heart ripped out and stepped on. I've had euphoric days where I've made more money than ever thought, and I was on cloud nine. So when you're up, try to remember that it's not always going to last. It's really hard when the bull market's out of control and money's getting thrown left and right. But take money off the table, please. Like, I tell everyone, have a goal for your next bull run. If you just say, I want to be a millionaire, I want to have millions, your account will get to 1. Maybe it'll get to 2. It might hit 3. But then what? So now you're worth 3. Like, now what? But what if you were like, I wanted to start a woodworking shop, or I really wanted to buy that home, or I want to buy jet skis and rent them out at the beach and then start a jet ski business. Like,
yeah.
Or I really want to become a professional trader and I want to take 200 of that and swing trade it for the next few years and then keep some on the side so I have something. Like, have a plan for the money. I'm not a financial advisor and I can't be, right? But have a plan for your money, and time is going to go by way faster than you realize. A year and 2 months, the Bitcoin halving comes in 2024.
Yep.
It took me 4 years to fully grasp what I do now, and I'm still a beginner learning every single day. You have less than 16 months to really understand what a halving is. what altcoins are, what Bitcoin dominance is, when to get in, when to get out, like how money is flowing, how Bitcoin's correlated to the S&P, what the weekly chart is, what that means, like what divergence is. Like, I'm not trying to say anyone's behind the eight ball because we're all beginners, you know, and you can start at any given day. But if you really want to take crypto seriously, you really want to change your life, like today is the day to get education, to, you know, I have free education if you want to jump on into my Discord server just for free. I do a free show every single day, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Tomorrow it will be on. It will be at 8 p.m. I'll be in Florida for that, so I fly in the morning. It is Friday, right? I get
it's Friday.
Is it Friday? I'm like, what the heck?
No, I get you. I check my phone before I go live. I'm like, I don't want to say the wrong days today.
And Randy, honestly, you helped me a lot. One last thing I want to say is learn from everybody, young, old. Never think you're better than someone. Never think you're the greatest. There's always someone that can contribute or can help you. I recently was just, you know, getting more interactive with Twitter and trying, you know, getting my Twitter going. And I saw Randy one day and ask some questions, and then I noticed that she actually was answering every one of them. And like she had like 50 comments or whatever. And she was like, and I was like, oh my God, like she's asking a real question that she cares about. And then she's really answering these people. Like she didn't just put a tweet out because she wanted to read an algorithm. Like, and I was like, man, I need to engage more. Like she's engaging, like she's using Twitter to engage, and she's getting a lot out of it. And ever since I saw that, I engage more on Twitter now, and I use it far better than I ever did. So you taught me how to use Twitter, and now I see you every morning because you have these little cheery, happy little Twitter hellos
every morning for years.
So you're like the first person I see now every morning, really, because I jump on my Twitter, I go, and you usually have a tweet out, and you're in the feed.
Always.
And today I was in your feed. As being in your feed, I was like, yes, you know.
You're the best.
Time will go by really fast. Have a plan for what you want to do with your money, so you'll actually do something with it, and you won't just watch it go up and go back down. And cherish your loved ones at the very most. Like if you got a call tomorrow and you said you lost 50 grand in your account, you'd be down and sad. But if you got a call tomorrow that maybe your dad passed away, your mom passed away, or maybe your sister or a loved one, like you would give that 50,000 back 100 times over and not even care about it. So like the second we're hit with what really matters, that's when we know what really does matter. And you know, maybe we can all not have to have someone die to feel that. Like we can realize like, hey, like I should cherish, like today I'm going to finish this. I'm going to go up and grab my little daughter and just spend like an hour with my 2-year-old daughter, you know, and my other daughter, like, and just be a dad and be present. Right. Because like, that's all we have, everyone. Like we make this money, we go after crypto for our kids, for our family members, for everyone to have a good life. Like that's what we're all here for, you know?
Getting teary.
Yeah, and if you just go after the money all day and you don't spend time like in the present moment with your family, you're gonna miss it. You know, I had a guy who lived in a building in Queens. He was like 55, and he had 2-year-old daughters. And I saw him one day, and he's like, "Sam, man," he's like, "Listen." And I never thought, we just saw each other in passing. And I was like, "I think I'm gonna get out of New York." And he's like, "Get out of here." He's like, "Get out of here as soon as you can." He's like, "This city's crap." You know, he's like, "Get out." I'm telling you, he's like, if you can get to Massachusetts and have a nice life with your family, he's like, take it. He's like, get out of here, get out of Queens. He's like, and he's like, not to knock New York. He's like, listen, I'm 56. He's like, I was a lawyer. He's like, I was making 250, 300 grand a year. He's like, I could go out every night. I was working hard cases, and I kept meeting a woman, but I didn't think a family was important. I could have every woman I wanted. I could go out at steak dinner. He's like, eventually, I was 52 years old and I was lonely. He's like, thank God I fell in love with this woman. And I looked at and he was kind of overweight. He's like, I don't know if I'm going to make it to when these kids graduate high school. He's like, I got to start. He was really overweight. And then he started losing weight because I saw him and he's like, dude, I want to make it to see these kids. And the point of the story was like, he did his whole life and he didn't take family seriously. And it took him till he was 52. And thank God men can do this. Sometimes women can't, you know, that's another thing. Like women
very
out there,
true.
If you want a family, like don't let them talk you out of like becoming, you know, creating a family. But I don't want to get into that. That's a whole nother story. But he sat me down and he was just saying, listen, man, cherish your moments and family is everything. And like, if you have a chance to start a family as a young guy, he's like, don't do what I did. Don't chase money for so long that you barely have enough time to make it right, you know? So, yeah.
Wow. I'm emotional. Thank you for sharing that. And 100% embrace your loved ones. Crypto is one thing, but real life and family and the relationships you have are a whole other thing. That's what gets you through it. And that's how you enjoy what you make out of your experiences is with your family. Because if you make all these millions and you're alone, then what's the point? So definitely have, whether that's, having children or a spouse or whatever, have people around you and family and cherish everyone. Don't take anything for granted. Especially in the bull market, we took a lot for granted and we're experiencing our humbling now financially. And friends, just have a plan like Lifer said, and don't be afraid to just jump into life and grab it and go for it, friends. Thank you again for coming, Sam. Thank you again, everyone in the chat. If you enjoyed the show, please smash the like, subscribe, share it out with friends so more people could feel this genuine, amazing vibe that we had today. And Lifer hopefully will be back soon because I just love hanging out with him. I could talk to him for hours. So thank you again, guys. Have a great weekend. A happy Friday. I will be back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern, the Daily Zest. Come hang out with me. Catching everyone up on the daily news. I got you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. And as always, stay zesty. And 333. Peace.